Welcome to FMA 0116 Mathematics 1. Today we're going for complex number. Okay, what is complex number? See, complex number, that is, we're going to have I equals to cert negative 1. Okay, so whenever you see cert negative 1, we will change it into I. Okay, so if you look at any complex number, it will be consist of two different parts. Okay, the first one will be your real part, then the second one will be your imaginary part. Okay, so I, whenever you see I, so this part will become your imaginary. So for example that you want to have your real z, so you will have x. Imaginary of your z will be your y. Okay, so let's say we have one number z equals to 3 plus 4i. My real part of my z is 3. My imaginary of my z will be 4. Okay, so my second example, let's say I have z equals to negative 4i. Okay, so my real, do I have real? My real of this z is 0. My imaginary is negative 4. Okay, now remember, the imaginary never conceive of your imaginary part of any complex number that doesn't consist of your I. Okay, so never write imaginary of your z. Any z is, let's say, 4i. This I indicating your 4 is imaginary. It itself is not the imaginary part. Okay, so how we going to change any number into the complex number? Let's say you have cert negative 16. So we're going to have cert negative 1 multiple with 16. So now we apply the third rule. So we're going to, okay, what is this third rule? Okay, when you have cert xy is equals to cert x multiple with cert y. So now I have negative 1 multiple with negative cert 16. So cert 16 will be 4. Cert negative 1 is I. Okay. Maybe later you ask me, can I have I4? Yes, they are same. Either you write as XY or YX, they are same. But just is my habit that I will be always at the back. Okay. How about cert 8? Cert 8 is cert negative 1 multiple with 2 multiple with 4. So I'm going to have cert negative 1 multiple cert 2 multiple cert 4. So I'm going to have 2 cert 2 I. Okay, so be careful. Don't ever put your I inside the cert. So don't be writing in this way. Okay, this one is wrong. Okay. How about cert 10? Since cert 10 cannot be, is not a perfect square, so it will be always as cert 10. So I have an cert 10 I. Okay. Now we look at I. What happened I if keep on repeating? Okay. So example, I have I2. What is I2? I multiple I. What is I? I is cert 1 multiple with cert 1. Okay, so it is also cert negative 1 power of 2. So this is negative 1. Okay, what happened if I3? I3 I can written as I square multiple with I. I square is negative 1 multiple with I. So I have negative I. Next will be I4. I4 I can say I square multiple I square. So it will be negative 1 multiple negative 1 is 1. Okay. Next, I5. I5, I don't want to have I power of 2. Okay, maybe you said you can choose I2 multiple I3. No. The more convenient way is I choose I4 multiple with I. Why? Because I4 is 1. Okay, anything multiple with 1 is you will get back the same number. So I get I. Then next is I6. I6 is I4 multiple I2. Just now I4 is 1. I2 will be -1. So I6 is -1. So you can see that is we already start back to our cycle. Okay, so actually what you will have is, if you really look at it, okay, so when you have I square, I3, I4, so the next one, I5, I6, I7, I8, then is I9, I10, I11, I12. Okay, so every 4 you will have one cycle. Okay, so based on this concept, we will try to find, let's say I want to find I 100. 100, try to rewrite in the factor of 4. So is 25. So 25 multiple with 4 is 100. So what? Then what is I4? Okay, you will learn the index is when you have P m power of mn actually is Pm n. So now my I4, well, with the power of n, okay, 25. Okay, so what is I4? I4 is 1. Power of 25. How many times you multiple with 1 itself is always 1. So this is 1. So you're going to have your I100 is 1. Okay. Next, let's say I want to calculate, let's say I13. Okay, so I13, try to rewrite in the factor of 4. 4 multiple with 3 plus 1, right? Okay, so we use the index rule. So I have I 4 times 3 multiple with I1. Okay, so this one is 1. I is I, so I have I. So I13 actually is I. So this way, whenever you want to do I, let's say I power, calculate I power of 1000 or 2000 or how many you want to calculate, you are always looking for a cycle. Okay, next we going for the algebraic operation on complex number. Okay, algebraic operation, definitely we're going to have plus, minus, multiple, and divide. Okay, the first part we look at plus and minus, or we say an addition or subtract. Okay, for this one is very simple. When you want to plus or minus of any complex number, okay, you only gathered all the all the real component together, or the imaginary part together. Okay, regardless what is your complex number. Okay, so example, let's say you want to say that you have Z1, let's say is 3 plus 4i. Okay, Z2 is negative 5 plus 10i. So if you want to have Z1 plus Z2, just copy back 3 plus 4i plus negative 5 plus 10i. Who are the real? Is 3 plus negative 5. This one is my real part. My imaginary is I, 4 plus 10. So my answer is negative 2 plus 14i. Okay. So it will be happen to your minus 2. Okay. The next one we want to look at is multiplication. Okay, multiplication is just normal. The only thing that you need to be careful, okay, is only I square. You need to, whenever you see I square, I cube, I power of 4, you need to change to the respective value. Okay, so we over here we know that I square is negative 1. So and remember IAQ is equals to AIQ or uh, QAI, whatever, they are the same. Okay. So when you want to multiply two different um, complex number, just multiple normally. So the first one, let's say I multiple A multiple P is AP. A I B multiple with P, you will get this one, and so forth. And remember, I square change to -1, so you have negative PQ. Okay. Now we look at this example. Okay. We look back to this example. So let's say I want to have my Z1 multiple with my Z2. So I put 3 plus 4i multiple with -5 plus 10i. Okay, so just multiple normally this one. So I have -15. Then I have this one. So I have plus 40i square. Okay, then I have my I part will be plus the I. Okay, 30 minus 20. Okay, so remember change I squared to negative. So I have -55 plus 10i. Okay, that's all. Okay, so we look at one example. Z1 is 3 plus 4i, Z2 7 minus 2i, and your Z3 is -2 plus 5i. How? So the question is asking Z1 multiple Z2, Z1 minus Z2 plus Z1 multiple with Z3. So you need to solve Z1 multiple Z3 first, then you just do the operation normally. Okay, so so the first one we look at Z1 is 3 plus 4i, Z3 is -2 plus 5i. So multiple normally, the I square change to -1. So you have your -26 plus 7i. Okay, now we substitute our Z1, Z2 inside here. Only take all the real part. Okay, put here. Okay. Then after that, the imaginary substitute here, then you get your final answer.